our subject is underwater archaeology in the Mediterranean Sea. You can find the slides of our presentation with the video. So on the second slide, you can see the choice of our subject. So first we had chosen shoemaking, but another group had already chosen this subject, and it appeared it was hard to find documents. Our second choice was surgical tools, but we only found trade websites for hospitals and no concrete documents. So finally we chose underwater archaeology because it interested all of us, and we thought there were a lot of things to say.
So on the next slide you can see how we proceeded. So first we looked for paper documents, but we could only find one book. We even went at the BFM, but we didn't find anything. The librarian offered us a book about ceramics, but it was not our subject at all. So we wanted to buy a book. We found one interesting on Amazon, but it was really too expensive. So what we did, we looked for documents on the internet, and we found interesting documents on the internet.
So why the med? On the slide 4, we have chosen to focus our work on the med because it was meaningful for us, because it included French borders, and in the antiquity it was an important trade route. Until now, so there was a lot of wreck and a lot of things that we can find in this sea. And there are also numerous documents, so we had to find link between them, and we have chosen to choose the Mediterranean Sea as a link.
So about the documents themselves, so we decided to set aside the texts that didn't deal with the Mediterranean, because we chose the Mediterranean as a main link. We also set aside the documents that were too general, with no specific words. And we also suppressed the document with too many schemes or graphics that we didn't find interesting at all. So we kept documents that dealt with different aspects of underwater archaeology, because we wanted to treat underwater archaeology with a set of things, not only the we took, for example, low text.
So we finally kept 4 texts. The first one is extracted from a book written in the early 1960s. We found it in the
Librarian at the university.
And the 4 second texts are from the internet. There are 2 from journals. The second one and the 4th and the 5th.
So how we divided the task? So first we read the text on our own. Then we highlighted the words that seemed to us specific. Then we debated to select, to agree on specific words. So then we listed all the words on a sheet. We classified them by topic, And then with this classification down, it was easier to us to make an outline in which all the words would fit.
So, about the plan of our lexicon, we have chosen to separate the plan in two main parts. First, the discovery, and then the excavation of the wreck. On the discovery of the ship, slide 8, we decided to separate the words by the type of vessel, then the parts that compose the vessel, and also we wanted to evoke the animals and all the plants we can find all around the wrecks that the archaeologists could find when they do excavation. And on the second part, the excavation, slide 9, it was more specific about how to proceed to find wreck and unsent ship.
So we first made a table, and in which we listed all our words with the translation and the grammar category. Then we made the cover sheet, the index and the appendices in the end. And we printed it.
And we laid out the project, but the layout was a complete disaster because we exported every document in a PDF version to keep the layout, but we realized that sizes and fonts were not the same. So we had to do modifications, and we have it printed and linked up. But there was still some mistakes, some layout mistakes. So we had to white out, and for instance, we had to white out the numbers and rewrite them with a pen. And we also remade our table of contents.
So, concerning how our work could be useful, we think that our lexicon could be useful for museum who expose the ships and wrecks to do translation. It could be also useful for archaeologists who studies in foreign countries and who want to learn the same words in two different languages. It could be also useful for the oceanographers who also work in this kind of place, and also for students who are learning in archaeology or oceanography and who need to use a lot of words in this tale.
Thanks for listening. Goodbye.